519 laps in the tank. All right. Good thing NASCAR likes a nice smooth curb. Come on.
Yeah, it's fun, Jason. Glad you're back.
Hey, boys.
I saw you deke left.
It seemed like you're going right.
Howdy, all.
Good afternoon.
Hey there.
Howdy-ho!
You guys will have one fewer person to pass for a while after tonight. Having carpal tunnel surgery tomorrow.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But hopefully it'll fix the problem and you'll be right as rain.
Yeah, I'm sure it will.
Your left hand or your right hand?
Left. However, the other, the right hand is regarded as
Strange?
medium to severe in the right and severe in the left. So I'm getting the left one done.
I had both mine done at the same time. I just said, screw the recovery time.
Really?
But the doc did ask me one question. He goes, does your wife love you? I go, well, why you ask? She goes, how are you going to wipe your ass?
Oh,
And I would tell you, I didn't ask my wife, but the first time did involve an instrument.
I'm sure. So how long was it before you could, say, drive a car?
Do you assume I can drive one now? A real car or the sim stuff?
Well, the sim stuff.
I don't know. I can't remember that. It's a while. You got several weeks. It's all how much pain you can tolerate, because they fixed everything else. Just needs to heal. So I imagine 2 weeks. It's up to you.
Oh, well, 2 weeks isn't too bad.
I'm not a professional. I didn't stay at Holiday Inn last night, but that's the best guess.
Yep.
2 to 4 weeks, somewhere around there. The first week's one sucks. Now and then it's just toleration.
Yeah, I'll be glad to have it done because it's been going on since November, so.
Mine have been going on for about 15 years. That's
Oh
why
my God.
Yeah, I had it done when I was about 50, and it was giving me problems when I was about 35. So, be driving a car and I'd take one hand off the wheel so that the numbness would go away, and I put the other one on the wheel and have the numbness go out of that one, and I would just back and forth.
Oh man, both of yours were real bad then.
Oh yeah, I don't do nothing half-assed.
Apparently not.
My chiropractor actually put my wrist in traction, which helped for. I mean, that was last year when she did that, and it's still going pretty strong. But this is kind of early onset, so.
You do have to ask your doctor after the surgery, will I be able to play the piano? They love that joke.
Oh yeah, I've always used. Will I be able to play golf?
Oops. Let's see here.
Yeah. The doc asked me one time, where he said, have you thought about having your prostate exam? And I looked at him and said, Doc, that's great. That just stinks. And he goes, bad for you. You think I went to school and look what I have to do.
6:30, so we're still below the threshold. This is good.
Yeah.
Looking good. So why is this particular race 40 laps and not 60 minutes?
Just time of the evening. So my engagement is to keep the races to a reasonable length in the evenings. George has a bit more flexibility in afternoons.
He means, why did you do 40 laps instead of 60 minutes?
Right.
As methodology. Because.
Okay, so no particular reason.
Things I do. Doodly-doodly-doo.
Here we are again with Paul Everson out. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Saturday race. Saturday race is 60 laps, so why wouldn't you run this lap? This race is a 40 lap race, right? Same idea, rather than time.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I've done. So, shorten it up a bit, still keep the feel of it. It's enough to give folks that want to get a read for Saturday enough a read, and it gives a good race to the people that just raced tonight.
But like Eugene said, it's tough for GT3s.
It is.
Not really.
I mean, it's not that hard. Like, you look at the fastest guy's times, and then you figure out how long 40 laps will take at that time, and then divide your fuel consumption in your own lap time. Like, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, that's multi-class, right?
It's just math.
We just have to sort of suck it up.
Well, it's different math than you're used to doing against the clock. Now you have to do the math against the hypercar first, and then reverse that. So,
But it's just math.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get to do over in the GPUs for the historics, and that always gets interesting.
It's just throw a little bit of a challenge at people as we go along. 3 minutes to the race brief, guys.
just what I need, more challenge.
You like to move it. Move it. Lap.
2 minutes, everybody.
The
Get
third
in your last lap.
Bad luck.
So Matthew,
Yes, sir.
the race banner from last year for the cars in the template the same as this year's template?
Generally, yes. There's the new car number template that's put on it, but pretty much yes.
Okay, because I realized I had my old 88 skin from last year that I didn't use to race with, and so
Yep.
I put that on as a loose skin tonight.
Oh yeah, you can do that.
So don't know if it's going to comply to all your regs for this season.
Well, it probably won't show up in the broadcast, but it'll be seen by the drivers.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Last minute of the practice.
Last year's banner. Oh, definitely disqualified.
Thanks, Ross.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for the race brief, everybody. Well done, JT. You're in. So please head to the pit through an escape. All right. So everybody, I will just work rapidly through the brief that I put up last night. And looks like everyone's going to be on the server tonight. So welcome to the race, everybody. Glad to see you all here. And I can see there's a couple of new faces. Gazoos, you need to put in your first and last name for the Discord, please. I think we've got all the right names on the server for racing. I think everyone's got their proper names. Just looking, I think that's right. So welcome to some of our new drivers. Just looking down the list here, I see Cole McMillan. I think you're new. I see, who else here? Slowly come up here. Mateus, good to see you. Have you here. Franco, you're back again. Good to see you. And I think that's about it. If there's any new drivers I've missed because my scrolling is going badly, it's great to have you here. Thanks for coming out. So 40 lap race plus 1 formation lap. It is 2 times fuel and 1 buy on the tires, same as it will be for Saturday. And like I said, 40 lap race plus 1 pace lap, unlike next Saturday, this coming Saturday, which will be 60 and 1. We have a 20-minute qualification, 10 minutes for the GT3s first, and then 10 minutes for the Hypercars. I will give a 1-minute warning for the GT3s, and then at the 10-minute mark, and at the 30-second mark, the Hypercars can start lining up. When I say 10 minutes, that's when the GT3s are done, cross the finish line, and escape back to the pits, and the Hypercars are released. In all cases, folks, respect the hot laps. Hypercars, if you are catching up to a GT3 who's snuck by in the last second of the first 10 minutes, please respect their hot lap and don't interfere with them. Best to stay behind them. Everyone looks like they're on Discord, which is great. Remember, you have to stay on Discord all the time, as you saw during the practice and the warm-up. You can talk all you like, but for qualification and the race, please use push-to-talk or voice activation mute and only talk when there's a safety issue. Come on, say what the safety issue is at the corner, and then get back onto push-to-talk or voice activation. Driver aids are exactly as you find them in the cockpit setup screen. There's no other aids available. And as we always do for this series, we are doing a rolling start off the grid. So you will see the green lights go, but we do the first lap as a pace lap controlled by the pole sitter. So we will roll off the grid, form up in single file as we go around the track. Hypercars leading, and then 5 seconds between the Hypercars and the GTs. If we have any Hypercars who find themselves at the back of the GTs at the start, they will be able to rejoin the Hypercars and that field after T4 before the bus stop. So on the first stretch coming out of the S's, and the GTs, just please stay left as you go through there. So the leader, make sure you keep them over the left, and we'll make sure we talk on the Discord that Hypercars are coming through. Going around the pace lap, stay approximately a car length behind the car in front. Keep your distance consistent, please. No excessive weaving, acceleration, hard braking during the pace lap. You can drag your brakes, but make sure you're maintaining position. And the race starts at the normal start-finish line. No acceleration prior to that line, and certainly no passing prior to that line. So keep your position and start only when you cross the start-finish line. start racing, that is. There will be an orange zone. It is from the start through to the exit of T5. So you come back on the outer loop. You can pass in the orange zone, but just remember that incidents in those that are subject to heavier penalties than for the rest of the race is 40 laps. Nothing's going to be won in the first lap. Pitting, refueling, and tires. Just watch your speed. Refueling and tires is as you wish for the 40 laps. And remember, for those who work on other sims, there's no ghosting here, and watch your pit limiter as you come through. I will jump to pit entry right now. So on the entry, make sure as you come through the final corner, the right-hander onto the start-finish line, if you're going into the pit, stay right. Stay right. Set up your corner, stay right, get into the pit lane immediately at the entry of the pit lane, stay in there going into the pit. So you stay out of the way of the incoming traffic. Cars that are on hot laps are not entering the pits. Just watch the cars in front of you to see what's going on and make sure that you are staying clear. If you hit somebody in the pit lane, that should be submitted as an IRR, and the stewards will look at it. But contact in the pit lane going in on the entry is going to be looked at pretty harshly. Same thing for the exit. Stay right as you're coming out through T1. Don't let yourself wander out into the middle of the turns you're coming through. You've got control of your car, especially when there's other cars coming through. Hot lap cars, make sure you're watching what's going on as cars come out of the pit lane. And everyone be really mindful of the closing speeds going into T1 when the cars are leaving the pits. I mean, you're coming down there really fast. They're trying to get up to speed, but they're not going to have the same advantage you have. Talking about track limits. For T1, you must keep one tire on the racing surface, which includes the curbing. You go outside of the curbing on T1, it is a CMS penalty. A repeated violation is eligible for IRR by other drivers. If no one complains about you doing it, there's not going to be an IRR. You're not going to get penalized. But if you are repeatedly going outside of T1, outside the curbing, drivers are eligible to IRR you. And as I said in the notes, this is in addition to any penalty points that may be assigned by RF2. So everyone's warned about T1, and the remainder of the track, you'll get track cuts. And you'll have to serve the penalties if you build up. It is 5 for this race. Be alert for other cars on rejoins. We've talked about that before. Just pay attention to what's going on around you. We've had some incidents in the past where people just have not been paying attention to what's going on when they try and rejoin. It's not the way we want to do it. Blue flag. We are going to get blue flags here in this race. So remember, the driver that's being blue flagged does not have to get out of the way, but can't compete with or obstruct the lapping car. Side by side at a corner means the blue flag car must give way. It doesn't matter if you're a slower class car or you're racing against, or you're being flagged by a car that's on the same category as you. If you're side by side going into a corner, you have to give way. You can't compete with them. The lapping car has the responsibility for making a clean pass. So pick your moment, signal it well, and get the pass done properly. Everyone's got the responsibility for good racing behavior, so just be patient, okay? And on that, Hypercar's best passing opportunity is at an exit, powering out of it, not the entrance to corners. So just pick your place. Everyone, I think, is getting comfortable with the various strengths and weaknesses of the cars they're driving. Golden rule of racing: if you're racing for position and you gain a position unfairly against that other driver, as soon as you can, which is almost immediately, get off to one side, slow down, let them catch up and get by you, and get back into the race. If your race has been affected by the actions of another driver and you wish to put in IRR, just follow the general competition rules and let the stewards adjudicate. Everyone, I think, is aware that escape means race over. If you've got a serious issue, unplug your network cable or do the control-delete. Let the sim crash, come back in, and get back into the race and finish up racing if you can. I'll be able to clear up penalties up to the warm-up, and then you're on your own. We do have some penalties for this evening. Everyone should be aware of whether or not they've got a penalty. If you have a penalty that is obliging you to stop and go or stop and hold, do it at the far end of the pit lane, off the pit lane proper, but not in a box, certainly not in your box, just beside the pace car. Do your stop and hold or your stop in time, and then get back into it. If you get an RF2 penalty, serve it normally in the box if that's where you need to go. We will do a pit box check prior to the startup, warm-up, and as part of the warm-up. The first thing we'll do. Are there any questions?
I have a
Matt.
question.
Yep.
My question is, what happens if because the qualifying session is so short, what if cars are dilly-dallying on their warm-up lap and they're not letting people pass?
Then put in an IRR. If you don't think they're behaving properly and wasting time, put in an IRR. Let the stewards have a look at it.
Okay.
Matt, can you reiterate the track limit rules for like the horseshoe, which is different, but has the regular rules? Because I think people are not aware of the regular rule.
The horseshoe.
Sorry, not horseshoe, chicane. My bad.
Which chicane? The bus stop?
Hey, Matthew.
Yeah, bus stop.
You mean the first one?
Hey, Matthew.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Can you just clear if I think that's what they're asking, everybody's asking, if the curbs for the entire track, not just turn one, if the curbs are part of the racing surface or not? I think that's what you need to clear. Is it just turn one? And the rest of the track is white lines?
They definitely
Or-
are in real life.
So,
Well, no, Norm, it depends on the admin. The admin has the free will that he can actually change the rule.
Right. So my focus and attention was only on turn one, where folks generally tend to blast out fairly wide. For the rest of the track, is the normal rule, one on the white line or inside of the racing surface. So you can't go all the way onto the curbing in the bus stop. So you have to be putting a tire on the racing surface, which is not the curbing.
You,
The black
you
part.
will not get a track cut from RF2 if you are completely on top of the curb and not on the inside
Right.
of the white line.
But
Well,
if,
you keep doing that, you're just taking your life in your own hands.
right. So for the purposes of IRRs and other drivers, if you're consistently off the tarmac on the curbing entirely through the bus stop, they can IRR that, even if RF2 doesn't give you a penalty. And the other risk, of course, is you could squirrel your car out later with the tires out. But apart from T1, in which you can have one tire on the curbing, the remainder has to be one tire on the asphalt. Okay.
And what
I have
happens if
another
you make a
T1's
mistake?
the only example, only exception.
What happens if you make a mistake?
If you
Like-
If you
slow
keep
a little
making
bit, it
mistakes,
doesn't. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you make one mistake, no one's going to get excited. If you're continually making the same air quotes
Oh, yeah,
mistake
okay.
on the same corner, then that's protestable.
Yeah.
You're talking about the thing like last year.
The thing like last year.
Yeah, where people going,
Yeah. So
Like
if you're
multiple
consistently
car widths
going
off the track.
yeah, if you're
in turn one.
consistently going wide on T1, a driver
Yep.
can protest that. If you're
Yep.
consistently on the curbing entirely in the bus stop, that can be protested.
Yep.
Okay.
I have another question.
Please do.
I have a pending drive-through. Do I
Yes.
need to fight it on the first lap, on the second lap?
First three. So once you're actually racing, so once you've crossed the start finish line and you're racing, you have 3 laps in which to do the drive-through.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
I have something to say too.
Please do.
So I noticed that because the high number of the cars, more than 30, my PC is having some issues with memory. I have 16 gigabytes of memory and this is overflowing. Sometimes I crash the game a lot of times in the last minutes. So if someone is having problem to enter, just lower the graphics to minimal to keep on the track.
Exactly. So everyone should have, one of the obligations is, and I'm glad you mentioned it, to make sure everyone is capable of running the race with settings in their sim that are going to allow them to race. Yep. So if you're having problems and you haven't turned them down, you need to do that before we get into the race. Any other questions?
No, sir.
All right, then I'll flick it over to the next session, which is the qualification. And it is the GTs out first for 10 minutes, and then the hypercars. So everyone, yep, don't dawdle around the first lap, or if you do want to dawdle, don't get in the way, folks.
Thank you, Matthew.
Dawdle
Thank
off
you.
the racing line.
Yeah, exactly. And make it obvious you're dawdling.
My roast.
Thanks,
Only we had
Matthew.
hazards.
Oh, it's hazardous.
And remember, during the queue is mics on silent, please. 1 minute. GT is 1 minute. GTs, you're done. Hypercars, you can start. Okay, I think we're all done. And Daniel, cracking lap at a 129.5. Well done in taking the pole for the Hypercars. And Philippe, well done on a 131.5 for the AMs. And in the GTs, I see it is Johnny. You've picked up the pole at a 144, almost flat for the GTs. And Mac, well done for picking up the AMs at not that much behind him. So well done all around, everybody. Good job. Looked like the qualifying went pretty smoothly for everybody. So we're now at the warm-up. So if everyone would hit drive, call for your pit entrance, and we'll get out there and just do a pit box check.
I apologize, Matthew. What was the miles per hour for formation lap?
It's 100 Ks, so about 60.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but you're going to be following the Hypercars anyway, so.
Okay.
So just keep yourself about 5 seconds behind.
God, this thing is weird coming out of the stall.
Stack clutch.
Something.
Venetius, that's okay as long as you can hear, by the way. It doesn't matter about your microphone. You'll have to type questions if you've got them.
Before race.
How's everyone doing for the boxes? See which of the guys coming out?
Saw a couple cars hit each other. Other than that, looks okay.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
God, I hope you guys are better parking in real life than in sim racing.
By the way, Matthew,
Sure.
looks like Vinicius did not understand his penalty. If you read a little bit about his last message,
here. Okay.
he does not have a
40.
drive-through penalty. It's a stop and hold 40 total, so he has to serve both penalties together.
Right. Okay. So Venetius, yeah, you've got to stop and hold 40. So you go into, you go just behind the safety car, and hold there for 40 seconds. You got 2 penalties, but combined, they're stop and hold 40. Okay, got it.
And you're responsible for counting your own 40, correct?
You're responsible for counting your own 40. So we trust you for 4 complete handfuls.
What is this thing getting though? Off the stall.
I see a couple people still in the garages. Philippe is one, and I'm not sure who the other one is.
Yeah,
I'm sure you can,
go.
Venetius.
I'm gonna go, Matthew, but I have a little question before I go to the pit lane. I need to pay the penalty behind the safety car?
Yes.
Because I had a penalty too.
Yeah. So you just need to roll up, not in your box, just behind the safety car, and do your penalty.
Am I not getting service because I haven't gone around a lap?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. Now I feel better.
No service for you.
Yeah, so you've got to stop and hold 15, Philippe, so you just need to go and do the same thing.
Are we okay to go?
Only 5 seconds.
We have one more prototype, I think.
Yeah, I still got Diego is in the garage, and I see another car, position 12. Diego, you coming out to play? Thank you.
Oh, sneaking. He's sneaking. I see him. Make it. Some donut. Gravy and goodness. Uh-oh.
Ah.
Oh, no.
Is that you, Jerry? It is. So, Jerry, it looks like I'm sharing with you.
Oh.
Diego gets the last pit box in the front. That's your pit box, Diego?
Sort of.
Okay. Anyone not had a chance to look at the pit box? Great. All right. Then to your scattered bodies go, everybody.
Gotta get this guy. Raggy.
So I will give everyone to 5 minutes. So it's a fifth. So at 5 minutes to go, it'll be time to switch over to race, everybody.
Sorry, Diego.
Quite rapid. GTs.
Sorry about that, Matty.
That's all right. It's all exciting.
Out here putting on a drag show.
Hey, Philippe, okay.
Really sorry. I miss Georgie hit you. Really sorry.
Uh-oh, crashed the game.
6 minutes 40.
Make sure everyone gives the pit entry test out so you know where the pit entry is. So we got that all cleared up. I'll be back in a minute.
Have a good night. You go that far. Eduardo, do you usually go out that wide?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Even if he didn't, he's going to tell you that.
It's true.
Stay out of there.
Thank God the speed limit isn't ridiculously slow.
Right? No 34 miles an hour, whatever it is. Ugh.
For what? Pit speed limit?
It's 100K.
I was going to say, yeah, it's 100. Who's 90?
60 miles an hour.
Some tracks we've been to, it's been less.
Agreed. But this one
It's-
was 90 as far as I know.
Set your fuel mixture just jaunty saunter. No.
I got a fuel mixture setting of BTTW. Balls to the wall.
Okay, everybody. 15 seconds and I'll be switching it over. And away we go.
I didn't vote.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Remember, it's a roll off the start, form single file on the pace lap, so everyone gets the chance to just wait for the car in front of you to roll away and pick up your place.
Stop. I'll wait to add the new hotness that Brian gave us for these cars.
Hey guys, I can't race. I have no sound.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, the new bug.
Oh man. Is it something you can figure out, or do you think you're baked? You can't hear me.
Yeah,
Guys,
I'm here. I'm sorry, Matthew. Go ahead. Do you think you can
you figure it out?
No, I'm gonna try it without sound. Then I'll just pull over to the side. So it's okay.
Just make the noise yourself.
Yeah, but not on the mic. Just for yourself.
To yourself. Oh, okay. Okay.
Single file, right?
Yeah, single file, please, and just keep the position about a car length behind. You can drag your brakes to warm them up, stuff like that. But otherwise, nice, easy pace lap. And remember, it's not when the leader crosses the start-finish; it's when you cross the start-finish.
Any hypercars coming through?
I don't believe so. I think everyone got a chance to quali, and so we're good.
Red screen lock. And it's gone again.
It's okay. You should be able to rejoin.
Yep, he can rejoin.
I'm in the middle of a Peugeot sandwich.
Hey guys, coming up to the
You
start.
having a
Have a
great
good
fun?
one. Mic's off. See everyone at the finish line.
Alvarez pit into slap.
Sorry, daughter.
Thanks.
So I think we just got a couple cars finishing the their lap.
I've never fought so hard to not be on the podium.
That was a great race, guys. Daniel, well-deserved win. John picking up second. Ross, third place on the podium for the GT, for the LMHs, and Vinicius, Diego, Felipe for the AMs, Johnny, Eduardo, and JT for the pros and GT3, and then Vinicius de Oliveira, Doug, and Mateus picking up the podium for the GT3 AMs. Lots of fun racing, guys, with 34 cars on the track, made for some really exciting times. And wow, the GTs keep on coming up in clusters in this race. Pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Eric, Steven, I hope I wasn't too rough.
Is that
Who's that
Stuart?
that's speaking?
Stuart.
No,
Well,
I mean
you were a little bit determined on a couple of occasions, Stuart. It's not necessary to run into me.
I was not intending to.
I'm sure you weren't.
I think I had more mid-corner speed than you because I would close on you a lot in the middle of the turn, and sometimes it caught me out.
Yeah, you would like randomly just be crazy fast all of a sudden in one corner, and then like not elsewhere. And so I appreciate that you gave the spot back after you tagged me, and then I drove right off the track.
Wing configuration.
Who is that speaking?
This is Eric Jacobs, and Stephen, man, you and I were also. I was running out of fuel, and so I was like, oh, I don't know what to do. Slow down, and then you came up, and I was like, oh God.
Well, I had no idea how many laps were left until the guy said 2.
Exactly.
Yeah, Eric,
it was very close on fuel.
In that last turn, I thought you saw me, and then when we bumped, I figured, okay, he just didn't see me coming, so I figured I was better to let you get by again.
Well, I
Who's
appreciate
that
it.
talking?
That was Stuart again.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't always put a name to the voice.
Hey
And
guys.
I can't see everybody talk at once because I can't see all the buttons on the screen.
You can activate the Discord overlay to
guys.
see the names.
Hey, I want to
Sorry, what was that?
If you use the Discord overlay, it'll show all the driver names on the R Factor screen when you're driving off to one side.
Does it?
Did not know that.
Yeah,
How do you set that up?
they all show up in the left-hand corner of my third screen right now. You can configure where you want it.
How do you do that?
Options. User
Yes,
settings.
somewhere in the options.
User settings
Okay.
and
User settings?
Discord Discord
I
options.
try to remember which option is in the menu.
Yeah, go down in your settings under activity settings. There's a game overlay.
Ah.
Right.
It only uses half.
Where's
your
activity setting?
So
in your
scroll down on
Discord
the left.
settings, and you can tell it which corner you want. You can tell it which corner of the screen to base it off of.
Is that activity or user settings?
So
Go into your user settings, and then
Scroll down.
down in the menus under activity settings, you'll find the one for game overlay.
Okay,
almost
great,
at the
thanks.
bottom, just above logout.
Yeah, it does never show it for me. Oh, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
It says it's
I'm not
on.
seeing
and-
that.
There it is.
Oh wow!
I see password authentication, account removal.
That's the one you want.
Yeah, well, I don't see anything about an overlay.
Log out.
Hello,
the next one up
Russ.
is Hyper Squad. What's new? And then game overlay from the bottom.
Hey, Hypercars. I want to apologize, Johnny here. I couldn't hear who was coming, who was going. So.
You gotta make the right noises, Johnny.
Oh yeah, forgot about those.
Remember, the Cadillac is deep. The Peugeot is not.
Yeah. Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm Paul. I sorry for that dive bomb on the bus stop. I'll submit myself for that. That was I was pushing too hard.
Well, I don't remember it because there were too many. It didn't stand out.
Oh, that's even more depressing.
From Matthew or just in general?
Who hit me in going up the back straightaway or the front up from turn 3? Spun me 360 around.
What lap was that?
And
The
what
last
sort of
one.
car?
I have no idea. All I heard I had hit me. I was going around in a circle and it was gone.
Hey, good racing, Eduardo. So you got everyone later on. All right.
All right.
So I still can't find this thing that you're talking about overlays. There it is.
Yeah,
Hey,
I can
JT,
find it, but it won't work.
JT, I enjoyed racing with you tonight. That was fun.
Yeah, dude. Good job.
Yeah, that was a real good pack of pros there running tight the whole race.
The
Yeah,
GT battle
John.
was insane, man.
I kept getting annoyed though because I was watching the timing screen, and every once in a while, Eduardo's time would disappear. It looked like he retired. I was like, "Oh, cool, a new position." And then after a minute or so, I'd get the time back, and I'd be like, "Oh no, I'm still behind him."
Oh, very strange. Weird.
Hey, John Mayer, were you able to get the BMW to do one pit stop for fuel?
I didn't run the BMW.
He was in the Acura.
Oh, that's right. Anybody else in the BMW?
That's the reason why I'm not
Mark.
in the BMW.
Mark was in the BMW.
Mac?
Yeah, Mac, did you have to get a splash?
Well, Mac ran out of fuel on the last lap.
Okay. Yeah, I had to go in and get a splash like 2 laps to go.
I saved the fuel for
Could
laps
any
to
of the
have.
GT3s make in with one stop?
I did.
I
Yeah, I
bet,
think most of the
all of
cars-
Which
them
one? Which car?
BMWs.
Aston Martin?
Yeah, one stop on GT3.
I was fuel serving the first stint because I did math wrong. I only started to realize midway through the race that the GTs were not doing 41 laps.
That's right.
Yeah, that gets confusing, doesn't it?
Yeah, you don't have your own race, JT.
I came whipping out of the pits and say, "Oh man, oh shit." Then I remembered.
Second half, I'm like, oh, qual fuel, why not? Go for it.
Go from one end of the spectrum to the other.
Yeah, I was planning for 36 laps for the GT Max.
Yeah, it was going to be about somewhere between 34 and 36.
If it helps Stuart, it was 36 flying laps.
Yep,
Well, I guess I counted good then.
There was just one reconnaissance lap at the very beginning.
Hey, James.
Yeah, and James Walker and who'd you get tagged up there in the last lap? And I ended up getting 2 spots back. Thanks very much. That was unfortunate for you guys, but great for me.
Yeah, he spawned in contact and he collected me.
Oh,
Unlucky.
yeah, Franco.
I think I gave all you guys a free spot. I took myself out on the last corner, like 2 laps to go.
Yeah, we were about to have a good battle for fourth, but the Hypercar took me out on the bus stop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I know you were getting close there. we had some good battling even on the first half.
Yeah, I mean, there was a 6, 7, 8 car pack onto GTs from start to finish. That was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was a great race. And I think we all gave each other pretty good space too. It was good racing.
Oh yeah, it was great. Nice. It was nice trains. Nobody being crazy.
The only problem were the Hypercars, not the GT3s themselves.
Well, they made it interesting, that's for sure.
Well, you guys made it interesting because watching the trains of you guys, coming up on a train of like 4 or 5 cars is so unusual. This is the first time really that's happened, and that made it very challenging.
Yeah, it must be for
you
you
get by
guys.
one or two, and you got to try and catch the next third and fourth, eh?
Yeah, just trying to judge. I mean, and sometimes they were closed right up, so you were coming up to the next corner, side by side with a couple cars and hoping that they saw you. And I think everyone was paying attention. I did some long outside passes and a couple inside passes, and the guys paid attention. And we stayed away from each other, which was really nice.
These
Yeah, there
really
was a-
long corners make it hard to set up a pass too.
Yeah.
There was a few butt puckering moments.
Oh, more than a few.
Where did you go, Norm?
Where did I finish?
Yeah. I mean,
Six.
you were up there like doing your thing. Was it like pit stops or something or what?
I just slow car.
Don't say you run out of fuel again. Oh.
No.
Okay.
No, he finished. Remember?
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I got lapped on the last damn lap.
Ooh.
Damn, Daniel.
It was Daniel passed me like maybe 2 laps to go, and he passed me, and I was hoping he would get far enough ahead so I would hear or see if there was going to be a checkered flag before I had to dive into the pits for a splash. But
I thought I
didn't
had
quite
him.
work out.
I thought I had him, but I got too much damn traffic.
It was hard.
I
I
had
mean,
2 laps left and came around the last turn, and all of a sudden the checker came out, so I was happy.
Oh, nice.
No, actually, that's the first time if I would have went the full distance, I actually had enough fuel.
Well, you finished the race, so you had enough fuel. I was either side. It was going plus minus on me all the last 4 or 5 laps, and I was getting kind of nervous. I will be back in a couple minutes, guys.
Yeah, good race, everybody. See you next week.
All right, Paul.
You betcha.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm still here.
Hey,
There's
Ross.
Matthew.
I'm not complaining. Just because weird situation. Because teammate and lap ahead. How you act?
Yeah, I mean, I was
Um,
on worn tires because I was triple stinting, and I was gonna call out and say, just go ahead and pass. I mean, if you see that you have clear pace and you're like, I gotta go, just flash me, man. I'll make it work.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't try because Gonçalves is behind me, and that guy is so anxious, so aggressive, so crazy, extremely crazy behind me. So if I attempting something and that guy attempting too, probably causing some other problems and get problems with teammates is really bad. So
It was
better
all
that
good.
way. My biggest bad luck is because I lose the time with the traffic. The traffic, I don't have too much luck today. Nope, I don't have incidents, but I lose too much time. But okay, it's normal, part of the endurance. But my bad luck was Diego DNF. Diego gonna win and connection down. So Gonçalves get that points because the connection down. At least I finished second in my class. I think I have more points than that guy.
Yeah, cool.
But both had 2 victories now. will be tense in the next rounds. Left sparks.
Well, I'm going to say goodnight, guys. Thanks for the fun, and we'll catch you on Saturday or next week, whichever.
See you, John. The next race for the series will be in July 13, right? At Mosport.
For this series, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we get a bit of a break.
So you have 1 month to learn all the corners at Mosport.
Just one.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, Matthew, that was a big question mark on what strategy to go with, because after that first stop, man, you were just reeling me in like I was a guppy.
Yeah, and I thought, I figured that being as close as I was, that I would continue, and I did. It's just traffic, and just and the wrong time. It was always coming. Always had a GT or a lapped LMH sitting, as I was coming up to a fast corner that I could just really rock it through, and instead of staying at, I would lose 2 seconds in the corner. It was like, oh, for crying out loud. But there we are. It's the way it was. Okay.
All right, guys, y'all take care, and we'll see y'all later.
See
Yeah,
you.
take care. All right, we'll load that track.
Do it.
Yep, let's do it.
That was a close one. That who was that? Brendan McVeigh in the Porsche, when he had his moment after Matt kind of gave him the old rubber hip coming off the carousel.
Oh,
I give somebody a rubber hip.
You had incidents with McVeigh.
I don't think you meant to. I think it was one of those things where it just sort of happened.
I have to go back and look at that because standing start, no formation standing yet. I have to go back and take a look at that because I know I caught out Paul. That was dumb. I thought I was okay with everybody else. Maybe not.
This was fairly early on.
All right. Now I have to go back and have a look.
Like I said, it didn't look like you were meaning to. It was just one of those
things that happened. That was when you were behind me in the first stint?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have to go back and check that then.
Yeah, it caused a little bit of scatter drill.
Okay. I think I probably know what that was. When we first came up on the GTs?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I know where that was.
Man, what happened with this? Is John still here?
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see him.
No.
The real race will be crazy at this track with 57 cars. Holy moly.
Well, it won't be 57. It'll be something less than 45 and something less than 45.
What do you mean?
Because we're only going to allow 45 cars maximum.
No, I was talking about the real IMSA race.
Oh, the real IMSA race. Oh, yeah. Oh, hell. Who cares about that?
I do. I know George does.
You got your priorities in the wrong place.
I don't.
All right, options. How are we doing here? Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. And now that we want to change that to normal, black flag only, go to 5.
So bad.
Okay, low track. There we are. Good.
Does not know what the hell it's doing. Paul Iveson.
Hey Ross.
Hey.
Your setup saved my setup.
Oh.
Because I didn't had the time to test yours, but during the GT qualifying, I opened your setup and looked at which changes you're doing. I did a combination with the setup I was using with your suspension and other things, and my car is extremely well. I don't have too much time to practicing, and I finished second. Almost gonna win if I don't have too much problems with the traffic. Probably I can. And not incidents or accidents, but just losing too much time. I did 2 undercuts on Vinicius, so I lose because I get stuck sometimes behind the traffic. It's normal, but yeah, the car was very competitive, very nice to drive.
Yeah, we can do a little fine tuning for Saturday.
Yes, I'll be practicing tomorrow. Keeping working with the team. But I need to learn more about some things, because sometimes I can do setups, but not sometimes extremely quick or extremely slowest. So 50-50, or sometimes the car goes well in the first half race and get worse in the second half, or inverted. So
Well, that's that. George is supposed to be giving us setups, kind of his
yes,
job, and he's slacking.
yeah, I did setups not to compete or something, just to learn, because it's important to acquire this knowledge. And my best results, I mean, except today, every race I doing here this year was the George setups. So
He's still slacking.
you using meds or you using softs?
I was on softs.
On softs, wow. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah, me too.
Now, did you do all 3 stints on softs, or did you change tires?
It's tripled.
I changed.
It was controversial what I was attempting to do.
It worked. It worked. You got to take credit for what happened.
Well, I guess I sort of did. But I mean, it's one of those things. It could have easily gone the other way. Had you not hit a little traffic in spots, it very easily could have not
Gone a cropper.
Yeah. Wow, that tire
Next
looks
race.
absolutely flat.
The next race is going to be interesting.
Aye.
As people evaluate their strategies and decide what they want to do. I finally got a double-digit race after some absolutely miserable showings. Dear Lord.
Are you guys excited about Le Mans Ultimate?
No, not really.
No?
We run Le Mans already. We run Le Mans already. We run all the cars. I mean, what's there to be excited about?
I don't know. Maybe original content. Less work for you guys overall.
Yeah, but it's just a single. And we've already done the work, so it's not like we're going to gain anything.
Still doing all the work.
Yeah, we've done all the work, and there's George is not there. Yeah, he was there. Was he? I'll find it.
Nice pictures, Ross.
Thank you.
You quick. I didn't breath after the race, and you doing the pictures.
You guys are, Terra Motorsports is starting to catch up.
Use these graphics during the race, or using high graphics for the pictures after the race?
That's what I use.
I no need to reduce my graphics, but after I did this, my Vector 2 performance will way better.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes a big difference for sure. How you do stuff here.
Oh, nice pictures. Nice pictures.
Well, somebody's got to pick up the slack.
Daniel's starting to, well, and Daniel's not doing as many as he used to either. You start haranguing him.
Yeah, and he was complaining because he was like, "Oh, nobody got a whole lot of pictures of our car." I'm like, well.
Oh, he's now typing. He's probably listening to us as we speak. That tire looks flat.
It does. I enjoyed looking at that.
I love that photo of the Porsche 911 spinning around. That looks so good. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was one of those pucker moments.
Oh, is that when I did the hip check?
Yeah.
Oh.
Franco.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to find that. I'm gonna have to find that.
Franco, Porsche, HC.
Oh, I remember that one. Because I went to pass around the left. I thought he was going to go to the inside, and then he started drifting out to the right, and I was already committed. I went, oh, this is not going to be good, because I went off in the grass and came back on again. I remember that now.
Yeah, that's definitely a tricky spot because you can usually make it work there, and it's fine. But if there is ever a situation where the GT doesn't know you're there, or they push out, it can go bad.
Boogered.
Yeah, at the end of the race, it was so difficult to let the hypercars by because we had no grip. So we couldn't maintain a specific line,
Yeah.
It was similar for the hypercars too, because we were starting to find we couldn't be as darty as we once were.
I think there was a time I squeezed Matthew on the long corner after the bus stop. That was unintentional. My car literally didn't turn. My car was so tight. Holy moly.
Well, yeah, I was getting very nervous at the end of the race because the one that bothered me is when I hip checked Paul. And I watched him sort of waggle back and forth in the bus stop, and I figured he was okay. And after that, I was extremely nervous about the GTs because, hitting trains and trying not to overrun them, because I traded tires both times, so I had lots of zip in the tires, and it was just trying to judge where people didn't.
That was a weird situation for you guys. Like every single time you catch the GTs, there was a train of cars.
Oh yeah, it was really strange.
It has to be really difficult to handle that situation. Like you're gonna lose time because everybody's completely packed up.
And
yeah,
it was judging where trying to as you came up on the side of them, trying to look for a gap and figuring out where you could slide yourself into a gap, or where you could just make yourself obvious to the car beside you so that you didn't get nailed. And was it going to be on the inside or was it going to be on the outside? And if it was going to be on the out, either way you went, are they going to have the tires to hold that line, knowing that you're wherever you are? Yeah, it was never obvious.
And a lot of times we were side by side, and a hypercar will be stuck behind, without room.
Yeah. There was 2 or 3 times I came up against. I came up real fast on 2 or 3 GTs that were occupying different thirds of the track, and there was also a hypercar in the middle who was also bogging things up, and it was like, now what do I do? Sort of train along behind and watch Ross disappear.
There was also a couple of instances when hypercars they'd pass you and they'd slot back in front of you on the braking zone, and they'd come in a little bit too early, so you're going like, well, I can't follow the corner, I gotta stop, but I can't because you cut in front of me.
Yeah. It was certainly very challenging, because while the best place is out of the exit, there was lots of opportunities where you'd be passing mid straight and judging how to deal with the next corner, knowing you were ahead, but it was going to be exciting.
There were also places where I can't remember where it was specifically. I think it was on the back part where you go down the hill.
Yeah.
The stuff behind you, when it's too far back, you can't see it. So it's hard to tell where you are because you're not actually in the rearview mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're too far back and up the hill. And then all of a sudden you're there, right beside me.
That's why I use a minimap from SynHub. So that has the shape of the track, so you'll know exactly in which corner everybody is.
Oh, you use a track layout thing.
Exactly.
Well, I keep looking for a thing that's going to tell me what lap the leader's on, and I still haven't found one.
The problem is because we have many unpredictable GT drivers. Some drivers blocked me many times. Even flashing lights is still blocking me.
So if you think that's going on, take a look at the replay, and then submit an IRR. That's if before that you can take a look at the replay, talk to the driver, and say, hey, what was going on? And if you're still not happy, go to an IRR.
Yeah, I think now you looking deeper the replay. I don't have an accident or incidents, but the only incident I have was when I did a little mistake alone, because I avoided a GT3 car spinning. I don't remember the number of the corner, but the car was there. Oh, car here. I kissed the wall a little, but make some damages on my car. Not bent it, but make me slower. But that case, okay, race thing. I didn't make a IR because the guy was spinning.
Oh well, that's
in my front.
that's a different thing. If someone's lost control, or, that's a different thing. But if you're looking at someone who you think is blocking you, or is not behaving well, you talk them into the IR. I mean, that's the way how we get things sort of put out there, and people will learn from it.
Yeah, I will do this. I will.
And how many IRRs do we have per race?
That
At
depends.
least 2.
Sometimes, it depends on the series and the sim. We've had 4 or 5 from a race. We've had none from a race. Like I get usually 1 or 2 in my races, and we'll see a couple 3 in George's, and then about the same. But it goes up. Yeah, we've had races where you've had 5, 6, 7 come in. People really got excited about it, and others where we go for 2 or 3 races and there's none.
I guess I'm being pessimistic today.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I thought this was a really interesting race, and and as an admin, I'm actually okay with IRs coming in because it means the drivers are taking ownership of the race and saying, this is not the way it's supposed to be, and I'm going to get someone to rule on it. Now, sometimes they've got the wrong idea, and it ends up being them that gets the penalty. That's happened, but most times it's either worked out between the drivers and they chat and they go on and they're happy, or like I said, if they're really unhappy and they didn't work out in the discussion, quick IR. Just do it. Get to clear up misconceptions and also get to remind people about the behavior that other people see and it's not right.
How often does NARS have BOP adjustments for classes?
So
or the BOP
if
on
it's
the
yeah. So I don't
Sorry,
do anything.
I didn't
for
hear
the
that.
cars. So I don't do anything for the cars. So the VMSC cars are running the exact same BOP in the classes that the VWC is, and I don't do any adjustments like success weight or any stuff like that. And we've weaned ourselves off the difference between controls, so that everyone runs the controls that are in the car in cockpit. There's no global RF2 controls for either the AMs or the pros.
Thank you for the clarification, Matthew.
Yeah,
I think
they're
it's
running
Matthew,
the same
right?
cars. Yeah, it is.
My
So
question was
cars.
about which drivers are in which class.
So there's so each class has pros and AMs, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
We seem to have a lot of pros in AM this time.
In the GTs or the Hypers?
In the GTs.
So success will get them up to pro.
No, I appreciate that. That was okay. Let me go back and ask my question again.
Yeah.
How often does that adjustment evaluated?
I do it for the short series at the end of series, and I haven't done any yet for this one. But if I'm honest, which I try to be, I haven't done it for this one yet. And so let me just have a look here. Let's see, Hypercar, GT AM.
You guys may have scared Eugene times.
With my
what
championship position
So Eric,
on the standings.
So if you look at the NARS links, you'll see the link. In fact, after every race report, I put in the link for the website that you can put it in with the password, and you will see the standings. So when I look at the results, certainly Eric, Eugene, and Brendan are doing really well this year. So but they've been developing. So this would be the last year I think they would run in the AM ranks.
Eugene is already a pro. I knew it.
Well, in other series they are. Is Eric running pro? No, he's not running pro. He's running pro with me in the BTCC. Eugene is. Well, then look. So I mean, Eric's just got consistency because he's got everything from second to sixth in the last few races. Eugene has been first, third, fourth, so he's not dominating. Brendan is more often absent than not. Steve, everyone's got different levels of success. Doug at Hikari, was second but fifth before, and two accidents before that. So Vinicius, he has been racing AM. He's obviously doing real well, and I expect him to go pro next year because he's racing really well. So we'll see what happens. In fact, Vinicius took himself out of the competition because he changed cars.
Which Vinicius?
De Oliveira. Yeah.
Yeah, he was running really decent on the GT side. Top 5, top 6.
But someone's going to finish up there, right? So if I immediately start moving people around, so I usually do it for the VMSC at the end of the year.
So you only do it at the end of the year?
For the year-long series, yeah.
Okay.
And
just
George,
asking because George does it differently.
Oh, I know.
George does it, George does it between qualifying and the race sometimes.
What the?
I know. I'm a little bit more laid back on that, I guess. He gets fascinated by all the statistics and the bits and pieces, and we have talked about a RF2 league's approach to the driver qualification, but everyone does things so we get people make different decisions about different cars at different times. So like I said, I look at Eric and Eugene and Brendan, who are the top three, and they're not always the top three. Like Eric finished sixth, Eugene was fourth, right? So right, yeah. So
there's also a bunch of new people.
Yep.
That's why Eugene was fourth.
Yeah, move them all to pro.
Yeah, so we'll it'll work out by the end of the year, and we'll go from there. If I see someone who's really knocking it out of the park with their car, I'll talk to them. But right now, when I'm just looking at the results, they're a little bit all over the place, right? And the results in the AM standings reflect that. So we'll see what happens. I look at Doug at Hikari. He's had 2 ninths, a fifth, and a second. So everyone's all over the place. So I don't know if you're looking at the driver standings.
At the which?
At the driver standings in the app.
Oh yeah, I look at the driver standings.
Yeah. So when I look at that, the 2-3 people who stand at the top are the ones that have been consistently performing, coming to races, and are doing reasonably well, but they're not just running away with the races. When I look at it, the one person who would be a standout on that would be Vinicius, but he's changed cars and dropped himself well back. I expect that he will climb back up, but he's not going to make a big difference, the standings at the end of the day. And
I'm sorry,
that's
I
it.
didn't catch all of what you're saying.
So Vinicius de Oliveira has
Yeah.
changed cars, right? So he's knocked
But
himself
did
back
he?
down. Yep, that's why he's got
Oh.
0 points for the first 4 races.
Oh,
So even though he
Okay.
finished first, he's got 0 points, right? So he's
Yep.
got 4 zeros, first, 3 firsts and a fourth.
Yep.
And then the next races he's got, and he finished, he DNF'd, got fourth, and he's got first. And the big one, he gets a lot of points out of coming fourth in the 24 hours of Le Mans. He got a good haul of points for that. Maybe it'd be different otherwise. So, but everyone else, just looking at where they stand, it's people are coming out and racing every week. Oh, yeah, better stop using here.
I got it. Missed a few.
Yeah.
Oh man, the Cadillac looks so good. Holy shit.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, man, Barack did a masterful job on that one.
My God.
Let's have a look here.
They will all slowly be updated. The Porsche I'm kind of in the middle of. That one will get updated. The Acura is about to get a new cockpit, and then I'll update that one. And the Ferrari, I'll have to pull a new cockpit on the Peugeot. And the BMW is being worked on as well. And then, once the hypercars are basically squared away, I can shift the focus back to the GTs, get those done, just in time to move on to the Evo versions.
Hey Ross, do
Mm-hmm.
you know how many GT new SGS GT3s? I'm not asking you what they are. I'm just asking you do you know how many new SGS GT3s you're adding for next year?
Well, it's a tricky question because when you say add, it could mean different things. If you said replace,
No,
and
I'm saying cars that are currently not included.
They're brand new.
So there aren't any new GT cars. Technically, there aren't any new manufacturers or new models that are happening coming into next year.
Because you already got
In real life.
The Corvette.
Mustang.
The Corvette and the Mustang.
We don't have access to a GT3 Corvette yet. And as Steven was asking, he said new cars. So, I mean, we technically have those, which is why I said replace. Because if you say replace,
Well, isn't there supposed to be a new Lamborghini or something? That's a replace question.
So, I'm looking at the Evo 22 for the Lamborghini, the new Mustang, the Evo for the NSX, which I'd like to do the 22 since it's the last one that will be basically happening at all, but I'm having trouble finding a model for that. There's only the Evo 1, so that one we'll see.
The Ferrari 296.
Yep, we actually have a model for that one.
Wow.
So we'll...
For which one?
The new Ferrari.
Oh, the new Ferrari.
So that one I'd like to try and get in there. The 992. I guess that one technically is new since it's a totally different model and not an Evo.
But that would be an SGS car.
Yes. So there are technically 5 there that we're working on getting in. The Corvette, we'll have to see what happens with that one because I'd like to pull that one in as a GT3 and just dump the GTE version that we have to keep bastardizing. But unfortunately, I cannot find a model available to buy, so that one may be one we have to commission out. So we'll see. But then we also have the other hypercars that we're looking at. The Isotta Franchitti.
Yep.
The Lamborghini and the Alpine 424 Beta.
That's what I meant before with the new Le Mans game. Isn't it better just to wait and don't put a lot of hours of work on working on the cars when you can just buy the new game and use them there?
Well,
so you can save 200 hours of modeling and working.
So
that's a question.
But not everybody will necessarily want to buy the new game.